What's up, YouTube? Wanted to do this video today without a mic and see how it goes. So I ultimately wanted to reach out. I know it's been a tough couple days for all of you and what you've been going through as far as what's been going on in the world and dealing with that. And I understand. I'm with you. This guy just fired up his bike here. Fired up his bike and he should be leaving. Yep. All right, cool. So, I gotta sneeze. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, it's been a whirlwind. I did a recording, a voice memo that I was gonna make into a podcast type upload if I could find a platform to do it on, whether that be Patreon or something like that. I was going to go that route and I didn't end up doing it, and I'm sorry, but essentially what I was talking about on this recording that I did, this podcast, was that there's a split that's happening. Okay, I don't know if y'all noticed the split. There initially was this financial split, right, with the way that the world was with pre-COVID and then post-COVID. Now we have a economy that's struggling to get going off its feet again, and it's really just, it's been bad for everybody. The job market's down. Fed's talking about lowering rates, stuff like that, but there's ultimately going to be more layoffs, more struggle to come. So we had that split, and now we're dealing with a different split. We're dealing with a political split that's even greater. I would almost go to say that, different individuals are actually leaving a party, and they're not including themselves in that specific party anymore, or maybe they just, at this point, I want to say it's bigger than politics. It's a political battle. It's a personal battle, because people's families are being murdered and shot and killed, and it's ugly, guys. It's personal. Now you got to watch out where you go, and you have to be safe. And the places we thought were safe aren't safe anymore. So where do we go? What do we do? What are we supposed to do? Just not live our lives? No. I want to encourage you all to live even more so than you have been, regardless of what's going on. Continue to travel. Continue to keep your plans set in stone, because things are going to keep going. I mean, the world's not going to stop. And, God's plan is ultimately going to be fulfilled at the end of the day. And I think we struggle with loving people, reaching out, regardless of what's going on, regardless of if we're reaching out to evil, even to just show grace to somebody, We're called to reach out to everybody, no matter who it is, no matter what they're going through, and promote good on their lives, bring them to the Lord and his teaching, and in hopes they'll be saved, because we're dealing with end times now, and the Lord's coming back at some point, and I don't know when it's going to be, but I'm pretty confident it's end times. We're leading up to that. So I almost want to say to, there are people, friends, family, who are much older than I am. And I know age is just a number. It doesn't go factor into health completely. Different situations could come up, and we're not guaranteed our health, right? We unfortunately live in a sad world where, to the point, much like Charlie, people who are young pass before people who are much older. And it is sad, it is tragic, I know, but we have to stay strong. We have to come together. I think that brings us together more because we realize our time here is short. So, so essentially what I'm saying is, the point I'm leading up to here is I want to reach out to the people who are up in their years more so, because I feel as if, if it is end times, and that is so, and the Lord's plan is panning out, I feel that it's not going to matter, if your grandmother is 86 and she's dealing with health issues, and you're 29, you know what I mean? You're 25, you're 46, you're 54, and you're in good health, or whatever, whatever the situation may be. Because at the end of the day, it makes me want to reach out to those people and say, hey, look, I mean, if we're dealing with end times here, if the Lord's coming back 3 days from now, let's say, it's not going to matter what age we are, right? He's coming back. So judgment is going to be done, and it's going to be done immediately when he returns. So and I've even heard there's even like all these steps in the Bible of like, this is how it's going to go down, step by step by step, he says, if we're still here when that happens. But I'm telling you, it's like, it's crazy, because I'm like, at this point, is health even a problem anymore? Is age even a factor if we're dealing with these end times? And now we're talking about these killings. They're almost being advertised out now by the killers, the ones who are future killers, maybe, who are going to commit future crimes in taking the lives of others and assassinating and this and that, because they don't want to hear certain opinions. It's almost become an advertisement for them, those people, to say, hey, look, there's going to be, they've clearly said it now, there's going to be more killings in the future, and who's next, and this and that. And it just, I cannot wrap my mind around it. It's absolutely insane that, I understand that, especially in cities, where crime is not emphasized. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. The, kind of the honing in, the slap on the hand for crime, the maintainment of, law enforcement upon criminal acts. It's some cities, it's just, they do the best they can to maintain that and to maintain crime. And some cities, they're so busy with crime that traffic laws are just basically expunged, and it's insane. Because as far as priorities go, we know that, murders and killings and stuff like that, it ranks at the top because it's human lives and all that. But, people die in accidents too. So it's, and get hurt. So it's tough to gauge the importance. And now, moving out of those major cities that are crime oriented, now we're moving out to the outskirts. We're moving into places like Utah and, states that are, Pennsylvania, states that are ultimately relatively safe. I mean, for the most part, a lot of places nowadays, no place is like completely safe from everything now. That's the thing that I've noticed. But if you're noticing, I don't think we put a label on it as much, but yes, crime in cities has escalated. Yes, people have moved out of certain areas, but we've always been used to that. Take Baltimore, for example, one of the highest crime cities, if not the highest. probably next to New York. I'm just guessing. In the US, right? So yeah, there you have it. Now we're moving into rural areas, country, you know, mountain states. What's next? Montana, Virginia, West Virginia, I don't know, So just keep your eyes peeled for what's happening around you. Stay safe out there. And I just wanted you all to know that there's a split happening. You know what I mean? And it, we started with the economy, with financial, and that's still happening. And now we're just splitting people, and people are separating from each other. And the states that you'd least think something is going to happen, just remember, something can always happen. And I'm honestly at the point where it's not going to surprise me if somebody's on a train in North Carolina and this happens, like it did to the Russian girl, or wherever. It's not going to surprise me anymore if it's in some country or somewhere else. Nowadays, whether it's the lives of animals, whether it's the lives of humans, a life is of utmost importance. So take care of yourselves. I gotta run here, but I hope you all have a great rest of your day, your weekend, and make sure you just focus on yourself and stay safe and do what you got to do to do that. That's it. Keep your eyes peeled. I pray that you keep a keen ear to listening to what is going on around you and what people are saying, but don't make that your focus. Don't let that determine your actions. Just simply focus on what's happening and be aware. A lot of people who do that want to try and think that because they're carrying a weapon on them, or because they're able to protect themselves, because they have knowledge of the area that they're in, they're going to be okay. But that's not always the case, as we've learned. We thought we knew these other safer states to be safe ones, where people could express their opinions, but now it's totally different. Things are different now, so we can't do that as much without crime happening. And it is our right to do it, yes, to have that freedom of speech, but unfortunately it does come at a price. And it's just terrible, so unfortunate that this has all happened, and just know there's more to come. Unfortunately, I fear that, based upon what the Lord says in His Word. I know that much more fires will come, much more crime will come, and hatred. I have seen what we've experienced so far, and I can only predict the worst for us to come, unfortunately. But y'all stay safe out there, and that does not mean do not stay positive. Definitely do that. I did not want this to be a negative video, but the hearts of many, including my own, are aching right now. So for so many. Okay, I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Take care. Bye.